because he's the creepy cop. This is the cop who likes to do some things on his shift with strippers. These two cops were partners, and they were going and meeting up at the strip club and picking up some dancers and taking them and having sex with them while on duty. They were on duty doing this. This is what they were doing on duty. And apparently one of the cops was going through, I think, a divorce or something like that, and admitted to his wife that he was doing this. So the wife somehow got him to give a notarized statement that he was doing this, because this guy is obviously a real huge dumbass. And then she used that and filed a complaint with the police department. The police department went and investigated. And so let's look at their findings. So there were 2 complaints sustained against Villalobos. Villalobos chose to engage in lewd and lascivious conduct while on duty in uniform, therefore violating his public trust and displaying a lack of personal character, values, and morals. His conduct was devoid of good ethical judgment, and his actions diminished the respect of his fellow officers, who recognized that their badge is a symbol of public trust and faith, not a license to be exempt from good personal conduct. Okay, they can say me that bullshit. All right, this is all a bunch of, they're playing to they must know that somebody's going to go through this file someday, and so they're just playing up with that language, because that's all a load of shit, all horse shit. But I digress. Villalobos' lack of sound judgment, moral character, and personal integrity calls into question his suitability to continue in his current position as an LAPD officer. It is recommended that a board of rights be impaneled to review the facts of the case and assess Villalobos' suitability to continue as a police officer. So they wanted to send him to the board of rights to see, hey, does this guy have what it takes to be an LAPD cop, or is he has he tarnished the badge too much? Okay, so this is what the cop wrote to Chief Bratton, Villalobos. I'd like to begin by apologizing for my actions. I recognize and accept full responsibility for my misconduct and recognize the weakness in my judgment. He got weak, guys. He got weak. There is no one but myself to blame. Of course there's no one else but you. Who else are you going to blame? I hate when people do that stuff, right? Because literally there is no one else to blame but yourself. So saying that, why? Trying to, like you deserve some sort of credit for that? Well, it's obvious. There's no one else to blame but you. My response presented here in the words that follow will not include any excuses, redirection of blame. You don't even have to say this. All this is unnecessary. You don't have to say this. Get to the point. He's like trying to win kudos because he says, I'm not going to deflect. And this is a deflection as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I hope that a review of my performance record will allow consideration in my continued service. I want to thank my commanding officers. What, do you win a fucking award? I want to thank my agent. I want to thank my grandma. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you thanking anybody? You're in front of the Board of Rights and you've been caught having sex with somebody, a dancer on duty. And then you're going to I want to thank somebody. I can't take it. I want to thank my commanding officers, Captain Anita Ortega and Captain Joseph Carreri, for their confidence that they have in me and allowing me the privilege to continue serving the Devonshire community in the field assignment while proceeding with this matter. So isn't that amazing? So this guy, what he's saying right there is, while this was going on, he's been allowed to stay on duty. This guy is having sex with somebody. And like I said, if it's coercion, then that's not just like sex. Looks like something else. You'd think that during the investigation, they'd take him the fuck out of the field for a little while and send him home. No, they let him patrol anyway because this is the LAPD. Oh, God. Their support and positive outlook that they have expressed to me speaks volumes and grant me with the drive to remain focused as a public service. Shut the fuck up. I have over 6 years of service, a whole 6 years, guys. Listen, in his 6 years, he's only had sex one time. No, well, at least with one person, maybe multiple times. But, in 6 years, he's held it together enough that he's only, had sex with at least one person once or twice. Shut the fuck up. I hope I can continue my career so as to demonstrate the negative event was an anomaly that I learned from. It was a learning lesson. It was a teaching moment for me, guys. Yeah, I was having sex on duty as a cop, but, were they doing it in the back of the police car? You don't even have that self-control. You can't say, okay, listen, I'm a cop. Maybe I shouldn't have sex on duty. Can't even do that, huh? I fully acknowledge the misconduct that I committed in 2002. So he's trying to push it back to, this happened years ago. Furthermore, I regretted what I did and stopped the behavior. He stopped, guys. That's it. He's like, I'm not fucking anybody else on duty. I got my rocks off, but that's it. I'm done. I'm retired as far as fucking on duty. I felt extreme shame for my actions and recognized that it was misconduct. Thank you for recognizing that it was misconduct, because I was worried that, you didn't know, you kind of knew, you didn't know, but he fully recognizes that, yeah, fucking somebody on duty absolutely is misconduct. Good for you, buddy. Good for you, Robert. Or is it Bobby? What do you go by? Although it sounds odd, I feel fortunate that my actions were revealed. Shut up. Well, this guy's a liar. This is a whole ass liar. He feels fortunate that my actions were revealed. My God. Do you guys know this guy? If you guys see this guy on duty, you got to clown him. It has brought about a realization and positive change. His lawyers wrote all this horseshit. He didn't write this. I know that I may be terminated as a consequence, but the lessons I have learned have resulted in the correction of the path in my personal life and renewed appreciation for my chosen career. This is such a load of shit, man. I'm sorry. I have become, without a doubt, a better husband, father, person, and without a doubt, a better police officer because he got caught fucking. Good for you, buddy. I took for granted the blessings I have, and I almost lost them. He should have lost them. My wife was devastated and heartbroken, but she has chosen to allow me the chance to prove that I will be a better partner and husband. And then it's a bunch of shit redacted. So who knows what was in there? Who knows? Who knows what's in the redacted? And then it says, my actions were as much a betrayal to my family as they were to the department. He's treating the department like the department's his spouse. Shut up. Until my misconduct was revealed, I would have dared anyone to challenge my integrity. As he's getting blowjobs in the back of the police car, he's talking about challenge my integrity. Challenge my integrity. My performance was as it is today. I was productive. I provided quality service to the community. He was servicing the community, all right. He was servicing them with the utmost reverence for the law without cutting corners. As he was sitting there getting top in the back of the police car. In closing, I would like to assure the department that I am worthy of carrying out my duties as a police officer. I believe I will be an asset to the department in that I would share my experience with other partners. He says, well, listen, Robert, I'm going to help you share your experience. I'm going to do this video and I'm going to do a separate whole real video. We're going to talk about you. I want to share your experience with the community in North Hollywood, just to let them know that, they can learn that, if they ever find themselves picking up dancers and taking them over behind a construction site and having sex with them, that they can learn from this experience because it helped you become a better person, a better husband, and so on and so forth. So I think this is an inspiring story. I want to help inspire the community with your story. In closing, I'd like to assure the department that I am worthy of carrying out my duties as a police officer. I believe as asset, blah, 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 blah. I would emphasize and maintain so he's giving advice, guys. I would discourage and warn them of behavior that could result in them making similar mistakes. I would emphasize that they maintain a healthy relationship with their family. There is no reason for that spouses slash partners and friends, and most of all, that they ask for help before it is too late to repair. Shut the fuck up. Robert, come on now, Robert. Bobby. So let's see what they did. So obviously he's still listed in the database, so he didn't get fired. He shouldn't have a job, right? So it says here, allegation one, the department alleges that on an unknown date in July 2002, Villalobos, while on duty and in uniform, engaged in a sex act. Did he keep his uniform on or did he keep it off? Did he take it off? Was he wearing a tie? Was a tie dangling in her face? That was allegation one. Allegation two, the department alleges that on an unknown date in July 2002, Villalobos, while on duty and in uniform, engaged in a sex act. So that's two of them. 2 sex acts. Rationale, volume 1-200 of the manual defines the expectations of personal conduct for department employees. The Law Enforcement Code of Ethics has adopted as the standard of conduct for all officers, and Villalobos' conduct in July 2002 violated the major tenets of the Code of Ethics related to personal integrity and conduct. It is better to prevent unprofessional conduct than to deal with it after the fact. Unfortunately, Bobby over here and his partner chose to engage in a lewd and lascivious act while on duty. In uniform. Kind of creeps me out they keep on saying that he was in uniform. Unbuttoned uniform, thereby violating the public trust and displaying a total lack of personal values and good moral behavior. To say the least, their conduct was reprehensible and devoid of good ethical judgment. Their actions diminished the respect of their fellow officers who recognize their badge as a symbol of public faith and trust. We've heard that bullshit before. Anyway, he admitted to the allegations. Nevertheless, this does not mitigate the fact that he did engage in sexual act while on duty in uniform. His admission and the substantial testimonial evidence from the other involved parties clearly warrants allegations 1 and 2 be sustained. His lack of sound judgment and moral character leads this adjudicator to question whether his suitability to remain in the position as a police officer. As such, the proper form to review the facts of this case and assess his suitability to continue as a cop is a hearing before the Board of Rights. So he went in front of the Board of Rights, right, to see if he should stay. Now, listen, the Board of Rights is a bunch of punk ass motherfuckers, right? The way they're structured, it's like two cops and 1 civilian who's got to be approved by whoever, the huge bootlickers. So they're the weakest fucking people on earth. Border rights should not be cops. They should be regular people in the community deciding these things. All right, so let's see what it says here. What was his actual summary? Police Officer 3, Scott Graham. He's no longer with LAPD. Contacted duty room at AIG to initiate complaint against, according to redacted, he was assigned while on. Okay, so they went to a gentleman's club in North Hills. While at the club, Graham met a stripper named Redacted, and then Graham developed a relationship which included email correspondence. They sending emails back and forth. The cops are sending emails back and forth with dancers. Okay. While that person was in Florida for several months, when they returned in July 2002, they had a relationship between her and became sexual. On an unknown date, him and his partner, while on duty, drove to the club where they met her and another stripper named Redacted. And so they followed them in a car where they were in their marked black and white police vehicle. They went to a construction site. What is with these cops in construction sites? Like Escobar did it over there and brought that woman over by my house to a construction site. Creepy as hell. So they went over to the construction sites. Both vehicles stopped at the site where they exited the car and entered. So they did it in the police vehicle. They did it in the cop car. He exited the police vehicle and entered the other vehicle where they were waiting. They performed fellatio, quote unquote, oral copulation on Graham, while the other one orally copulated Villalobos. He learned from this experience, though. He said he learned so much from this experience that he went and did it again. He's a repeat offender. Anyway, let's see what the suspension looked like. Let me scroll down here. I remember I knew the suspension. I haven't seen it in a while. I forgot this case. Been meaning to pull it up. All right. Agreed to a special training. He got 6. Okay, so oh wow. All right, so pursuant, he reduced it. I don't even see what the original. So it looks like the Board of Rights suspended him for an unknown period of time. Pursuant to an administrative review of complaint form number 04-4589, the chief of police has approved a recommended disciplinary settlement agreement. Based on the review, chief reassessed the complaint and penalty and directed that the original count 1 be adjudicated as guilty as decided by the Board of Rights hearing in 2005. However, the chief reduced the penalty to a 65-day suspension. So what the fuck? I don't know what the original suspension was. What was it, 100 days? Why the fuck are you reducing it? Why? He shouldn't be a cop. This guy has no business being a fucking cop. And you reduced the suspension to 65 days? To accommodate the direction of the chief of police, the charge and penalty was amended as delineated on Villalobos' decision of rights agreement, blah, 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 blah. Further, as part of the agreement, he's directed that Bobby submit to a special rating report for a period of 1 year, 4 per year, on his duty performance. So he's got to give a little report on his duty performance for the next year. Like that means anything. Hey, Bobby, did you bring any dancers over to the construction site today? No, sir, I have not. Okay, good job, Bobby. You're learning. So yeah, he got a 65-day suspension. Bobby. Let's pull him up again. There he is. You are lucky. You are one lucky man. You are so lucky that you only got a 65-day suspension. Anyway, if you ever see this guy creeping around a construction site, keep an eye on him, right? Pull out your phone. Make sure he's not creeping into any police cars, back to police cars, or creeping into anybody else's cars. And like he said his own words that this is a really good experience for him because it allows him to inform his family, friends, the community, and police force about how you should avoid making these mistakes twice. Not just once, twice. Twice he made this mistake when he was getting orally copulated in the back of a police car, or maybe in the back of her car, or maybe they were in a construction site. Who knows? Maybe they're like, fuck it, we're just going to do it right out here in the open. So yeah, I'm going to help the community. I'm going to help you get the word out about what Bobby Villalobos does while he's on duty.